who don't get the care they need, the children, the young people left behind and out of work, our communities blighted by unemployment and by poverty, and all because of a vicious political choice by a Tory government that has shown itself time and time again to be callous and to be cruel. And it's our people, our class, who suffer. They suffer whether it's the residents of Grenfell Tower, victims of an avoidable tragedy and still homeless a year on. A scar in our city, a source of deep national shame. They suffer whether it's Unison members, care workers, nurses, teaching assistants, yet always expected to do more for less. They suffer whether it's the Windrush generation, losing their jobs, denied the care they need, put in detention centres, driven from this country, told to go home by a callous, racist government. It's our people, it's our class who suffer. And do you remember the Tories? What did they say? They wanted a hostile environment. Do you remember it? So we here today, we will give them one. We'll create a hostile environment for Theresa May, a hostile environment for a racist government, a hostile environment for their politics of austerity, their politics of greed, their politics of hate. Our people and our movement are fighting back. Today we march and we will keep on marching. We will keep up the pressure because, and they know it, now we are in the majority in this country. Not just you here today, but millions and millions throughout the land. Millions who believe in honesty, in decency, in compassion, in a fairer society. Millions who know that what this Tory government is doing is wrong. And we seek change. We won't just sweep the Tories from office, it will sweep Jeremy Corbyn into Downing Street. It will bring our movement into power, and it will change our society into one that works for the many. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of what you do. And to all the Unison members here today, be proud of your union, because I am so proud of you. Thank you for coming.
Thanks, Dave. Our next speaker is an absolute stalwart defender of disabled workers up and down the country. Sean McGovern from Unite, chair of the TUC Disabled Workers Committee.
Hello. Hi, Park. I'm Sean McGovern, proud member of Unite and proudly the chair of the TUC Disabled Workers Committee. And comrades, we march together today to demand a new deal and social justice for our class. Comrades, working people in the UK deserve a new deal. Not more of the same from the Tories, who have imposed the most draconian cuts to our public services, jobs and benefits for the past 8 years. An austerity programme that has only succeeded in the growth of food banks, a disgraceful increase in child hunger and record levels of homelessness and rough sleeping. A government that with no hesitation reduces the income of disabled people by slashing their benefits. A government that has presided over and allows the continuation of a fatally flawed work capability assessment. Shame on them. an assessment system that has led to the unnecessary deaths of thousands and thousands of disabled people. An administration that has pushed social care and support into chaos, indeed to the point of collapse. As we enjoy the freedom of today's event, there are hundreds of thousands of disabled and elderly people imprisoned in their homes due to social care cuts. Disabled people are further punished when they are punitively hit by social care charges, which is another unfair taxation on disabled people. So, comrades, let us call for a social care and support system free at the point of need and funded through general taxation. The Tory regime and its predecessor, the coalition, despite insisting that work pays, have done nothing to close the employment gap for disabled people who are still massively disadvantaged when seeking employment. And rather than promoting and extending access to work, instead they place greater barriers in front of disabled people, making our employment precarious and even putting us into debt. Comrades, we need a change in the form of a government that we need a government that looks to governing the many, not pandering to the greed of the few. We need a government that will close the employment gap experienced by disabled people seeking work by placing severe sanctions on employers who discriminate against us, by extending access to work to more disabled people and scrapping financial capping of the funding. Let us elect a government who replace a punitive welfare benefit system with real social security, a system that gives disabled people who cannot work the dignity of a decent income. No more food banks, no more sanctioning of benefits, no more our children going to school hungry. Comrades, let's build a trade union movement and labour movement that will fight for decent pay, terms and conditions in both public and private sectors. A movement that works with communities and strives for social justice for all our class. Comrades, solidarity.
And thank you for that. And now, friends, moving on, we have another panel of trade unionists, union members and organising. Can I introduce Laura from the GMB, Anna Lee from the Bakers, and Scott Lennon from Unite.
I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win. Comrades, it doesn't take a genius to work out why working people in this country are so angry. Public sector workers are facing a decade-long pay pinch. Children are living and starving in households where parents just want to do the best for their kids. Why in Britain today are people in work and still in poverty? It's just not right. The youth of this country is refusing to accept the way things are is the way that things have to be. Take young McDonald's workers like Annalise, like Shen, like Lauren, like Ali, like Lewis, fighting for £10 an hour. TGI Friday workers like Lauren, train guards and cleaners of the RMT in such resilient disputes. GMB championing equal pay, whether it's up in Scotland, across the country in Asda, and many, many more. They should inspire all of us, and they should make us even more determined. If we hold on to this determination, we can fix a broken economic model which punishes the many and rewards the few. So whether you're on the shop floor, behind a till, in an office, you need to join a union, and if you haven't already, join one today. Because the answers won't come from the bosses or their friends in Westminster, they will come from us. I'm so proud to be here today and proud of this Labour movement, and it's time for a new deal for workers.
Brothers, sisters, comrades, I look after Sports Direct. I can't believe we still have a Victorian workhouse in that place. They deprive workers of their rights. That's no more. We will fight them everywhere. They can no stone unturned. There's a lot of practice they do, what is unbelievable. But we will change the way they think. At the moment, we have stopped John Ashley, Mike Ashley's brother, having his 11 million payout. We have stopped the removal of the 6 strike policy. We have now got a welfare nurse looking after them. We have now potentially got at the end of 0-hour contracts there. But I'm telling you now, this hasn't finished. Any unscrupulous bosses out there, any union will be coming for you, and there'll be no stone unturned until we have justice for the all. Thank you.
My name's Annalise, and I'm a McStriker. On May the 1st, I went on strike together with my colleagues at 5 McDonald's stores across the country. We went on strike to demand a minimum wage of £10 an hour, an end to youth rates, and an end to 0-hour contracts. These are all simple things, but life as a McDonald's worker is not simple. It isn't simple living on a poverty wage, being made homeless because your low wages means you can't pay your rent. It isn't simple having to struggle to support your family or having to work full-time and study full-time at the same time. It's hard living with the instability that a 0-hour contract brings. What's happening in McDonald's today isn't okay, and that's why we are organising into a union. When we organise, we share our experiences and we face our problems together. We don't have to battle on our own when we're in a union. We can overcome pressure and lies from management. We can face Steve Easterbrook, the CEO of McDonald's, and force him to listen to us. In our union, we know that we are going to win. We're going to win because there are more of us than there are of them. We're going to win because we are stronger than they are and because we stand together. I believe that we will win, and so should you. Thank you.
Thanks, Annalise. Thanks, Annalise. 3 brilliant stories there. Okay, our next speaker, before we have a little bit of musical entertainment, is someone who's spent a lifetime standing up for teachers, standing up for parents, and standing up for our kids. Patrick Roach, the Deputy General Secretary of the NASUWT.
Thanks, Paul, and thank you, everybody. It is fantastic to see so many of you here today, particularly in these atrocious weather conditions. Look, I'm proud to be here today. I'm proud to be NSWT, and I'm proud to be part of this fantastic trade union movement which is standing up for working people. Colleagues, why are we here today? Well, it's very simple, isn't it? We're here because we know about the scourge of social division and economic inequality which is being caused by this government's policies. We know, and I don't need to tell you, of the rampant gender inequality that affects our workplaces and is impacting on women, leading to employers who believe that they're free to pay women workers, women teachers, as little as they can get away with. Colleagues, I don't need to tell you of the overt racism and discrimination that continues to blight the lives of black workers. Less likely to be hired, more likely to be fired, and less likely to be paid the going rate for the job. And I don't need to tell you either of the impact of this shameless government's hostile immigration policy, which is fueling racial hatred in our country. And I don't need to tell teachers here today of the destructive impact of 8 years of real terms pay cuts and pay discrimination that's led to the worst teacher recruitment and retention crisis since the Second World War. And you, colleagues, you don't need to tell me that our schools are worse still if we don't have enough teachers and it's children's education that suffers. And I tell you, colleagues, all of this. I tell you this because we know the truth. We've got all the arguments. And now, colleagues, it's time for us to use those arguments to win a new deal for workers. So today, let's salute all those workers who are taking a stand. Let's salute all those workers who are taking action. And let's salute all those workers who are saying enough is enough. And let's tell this government now is the time to put working people first. Colleagues, thank you. Have a fantastic rally.
I'm marching because we have too many bosses sitting on piles of cash. If the government can provide tax breaks for big corporations and rich men, they can provide better conditions to the working people of Britain, the people who actually deserve it. I'm part of the trade union movement. Together, we stand up for millions of people from all across the country. We're demanding a new deal for working people.
Some absolutely brilliant musical entertainment. We want you to sing along. We want you to enjoy this next section. It's not often you get to introduce a genuine music legend, a punk rock legend, an original founder of the Sex Pistols. Everybody put your hands together for Glenn Matlock.
How you doing, all right? I think the rain's leaving off a little bit. Some fantastic speakers here today. I'm privileged to be here as a fully paid up member of the Musicians Union, so I've got a few songs for you that hopefully will lighten your mood a little bit. Are you ready? Okay, this one's called Somewhere Somehow. Hey, well, same old thing keeps going through my mind. Boy, everything seems such an uphill climb. Come to the ridiculous from the sublime. And all we're looking for is a chance to shine, for a chance to shine. Let's start getting somewhere somehow. Somewhere somehow. See, all we wanna know is when is the time right. Been gone with the flow, see no end in sight. A little indication would go down just fine. See, where we're coming from is where the sun refuses to shine. Sun refuses to shine. Let's stop getting somewhere somehow. Somewhere somehow. Up inside, step, get inside, track, push. It can't stay like though. If I was one step forward, two steps back, we don't need that anymore. Well, hey. The same old thing keeps going through my mind. See, all we're looking for, what is a chance to shine, for a chance to shine. Let's start getting somewhere somehow. Oh, I believe that somewhere somehow. that somewhere, somehow. Hey, well, I believe that somewhere, somehow. Somewhere, somehow. Hey, well, how about that? Somewhere, somehow. Say, well, how about that? Somewhere, somehow. Hey, well, how about that? Somewhere, somehow. Say, well, how about that? Somewhere, somehow. A little bit more guitar, please. Well, this one's called A Different World, because we could all do with that. I could escape this feeling and take a trip into a different world. It would be so appealing to take a trip into a